Welcome to the Believe in NFL Draft Prospect podcast. It is an interview edition. You know it's a Thursday, which means that we're bringing you an inside look into some of the best football players in the entire country. We have turned the page on the 2021 NFL Draft, which means our eyes are set completely forward to 2022 and all the great football players that will be a part of it. We know due to COVID pandemic and a lot of players having an extra year of eligibility and a lot of the chaos that has surrounded it, we're going to be seeing a very talented 2022 class with a lot of depth. And doing the work that I have been doing with the College Gridiron Showcase, doing some regional scouting, I have come across a young man that, very honestly, a couple weeks ago, I had no idea existed. But now I have taken a look at his bio, done my research on him, seen highlights, seen everything that he has accomplished over his career at Baker University in Kansas. I'm joined by J.D. Woods, star running back. JD, again, man, appreciate you taking some time, man. How's everything been going?
It's been going pretty good. Just, finished the season about June now, a month and a couple weeks ago. So, just trying to get back into it.
I love it, man. I love it. And I know you're very excited probably to get back to a little bit of a more normalized feeling after everything that you've obviously been going through and everybody's been going through with the pandemic. And I'm really interested, JD. I kind of want to start you out back because I looked into the bio. I'd seen Lawrence, Kansas, hometown. So if you can, because I don't know too much background as far as like from Lawrence till now, how you've gotten to Baker, just kind of fill me in very briefly on how you have gotten to where you are now.
Originally, I'm from Hollandale, Mississippi.
Okay.
My family moved here. Hollandale, Mississippi is not a place you want your kids to grow up at. I was actually there a week ago. It's just, it's not a place a lot of people make out of. So my mom decided to move here when her sisters moved here. Mm-hmm. High school, I thought I was a basketball player. I'm 5'8", thinking I'm a basketball player. So, all my best friends played basketball. So I wanted to play basketball. I never got picked up because I was so short. Started running track, got pretty good at that. Then my football coach was like, "You're a football player. You're not a track runner. You're not a basketball player." I ended up going to Missouri Western out of high school, which is a D2 in the MIAA. Mm-hmm. That didn't go so well. Head coach got fired, and then a new coach came in. Just stuff happens. My best friend, who was the quarterback, and he was my roommate at that time, transferred. So I was like, man, this is the only guy I talked to on the team, and a couple other guys. Jonathan Owens, he's actually playing with the Houston Texans. He was a role model for me. I talked to him, and he was like, just do what's best for you. So then Baker's 20 minutes from my house.
Nice.
And the head coach, Coach Thorne, played at my high school. So him and I, we had a relationship already. He called me probably in the summer of 2017 100 times. And I was like, dude, I'm not going to Baker. I just didn't want to go to Baker. I was like, it's too close to home. And then I looked at the education and their record. And the year before, they played the national championship. So I was like, I think this is a fit for me. It's close to home. And like I said, my sister had cancer at that point. So I was like, I need to be close to her. And the rest is history.
Absolutely, man. And I mean, kind of to put some context on what you've been able to accomplish at Baker. I mean, I posted this on Twitter a few days ago. Like, if I would have told someone that there was a running back in the 2022 class that has run for 5,289 yards and has scored 77 career touchdowns, everyone would be on board with it. And then obviously taking a look at your highlights, you're a talented football player. And I kind of wanted to just take a step back and talk about the pandemic for a second, JD. I know you got to play a season, but a lot of uncertainty, obviously swirling around just, on all levels. It's like, are we going to play football on a week-to-week basis? There's COVID protocols. For you, how are you best able to, and the team also, able to navigate the pandemic? And how's everything been going since kind of we're getting back to what is a more normalized environment?
I think at first, going into fall camp, a lot of people were so iffy. We had guys, because, you're in college. People were already engaged. So they're like, dude, I might as well just start my life. I'm like, man, we're going to play. I'm being so hopeful. And our first 2 to 3 games got canceled. So we haven't played football. We've been here since the first week of August because we have to go through the COVID testing and all that. first 3 games get canceled. So it's like, dude, we're never going to play a game. And then we end up playing like the week before October, or a week or 2 before October. We play, come back, another game gets canceled. So people are just getting stressed out, and then I think coach really did a good job keeping us all together and just keeping our heads in it, because it's hard when you only play 6 games and football in the fall, and you don't get much workouts in the summer as a team because of COVID. So we were barely with each other. And I kind of opted out of, being at the school. Obviously with my sister, I didn't know, what other guys were doing. So I trained with one of my trainers here. And yeah, it was hard, playing 6 football games and then taking 3 to 4 months off and coming back to play the playoffs in the fall really took a toll on a lot of people, because some people were mentally drained. Some people were done with school already. So when they were done with school, they wanted to go start working. But we found a way to get everyone back, and that was the good thing about it.
I love it, man. So now that everything's kind of, like I said, heading towards what it looks more normalized, what is the current state of the team? Are you guys back together? Did you have spring practice? Like, what does the day-to-day look like now for Baker University?
We finished the playoffs. We played the playoffs in August, or not August, April. We won our first game, lost in the second round to a good Morningside team. Yep. And after that, I graduated, so I'm going to be I'm starting my master's, so I'll play in the fall still.
Nice.
And coach gave us, he's given us a lot of time off. It's been a long year to play, football from August all the way until April and be so locked in. It's so draining on a lot of people. Yep. And he just gave everyone time off. I think we start maybe June 6th, maybe.
Okay.
Something like maybe next week. I don't know. I have it in my email. So right now, I think everyone's just, taking care of their body. That's the big key, taking care of our bodies is going to be huge. So, yeah, everyone returns. That's the good thing. We're returning everyone. I think we'll have a good chance this year.
Absolutely. And for you, JD, obviously you said, taking advantage of the extra year. Obviously you were a senior this past season, but getting that extra year, starting your master's program, which is fantastic. Was there ever any, I know it's a little weird, right? Because you had to come back into the spring and finish the playoffs. Was there ever any thought to you with NFL or just professional aspirations in general to maybe sit out the spring and enter the 2021 draft? Was that ever a conversation, ever a thought for you?
Yeah. After the season ended, we played the conference championship game on Thanksgiving Day, actually. And, I kind of cried. I was like, dang, this is my last game here. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, I can go run a 4.3. I'm strong already, I've done a lot. So I'm thinking ahead, like, okay, this is my time. And something, there was always something that didn't sit right with me. And it was like, is COVID going to stop me? Am I going to get a pro day? That was the thing that really stuck with me, was, am I going to get a pro day? Especially me being from an NAIA school, people don't know about Baker if you're not in the NAIA unless you really love football and you just like to search around. Yeah. So with me, I sat down, I talked to a couple people in my corner, Coach Thorne, my head coach, and my mom. My mom really helped me make the decision, and my trainers. I think those were the people who helped me. And we talked about, why not go back and take advantage of, getting my master's paid for, and bettering my game, because I still think there's some stuff I can work on the field, route running, receiving out of the backfield and returns. I really want to do returns. So with me thinking about that and talking to everyone, it was a last minute decision. Coach didn't know he was going to have a running back until 2 weeks before, 2-3 weeks before the playoffs, or we started practicing. It was like the second or third week of February, and I still had no clue what I was doing. I was with some people training. I hadn't had contact with anyone from Baker for like 3 months. And then I called him. I was like, it's a go. I'm coming back. And he was excited.
That's fantastic, man. That's a great, and honestly, JD, being a guy that covers the NFL draft year round, I saw 2020 NFL draft where guys thought they were going to have a pro day, then it gets canceled. So much uncertainty. I feel like that was a great decision on your part. And obviously you're a guy that I'm very excited about. I need to touch base because I have coached football. I have coached track and field. Did I just hear, and I don't know the track number, so I would love to hear the track numbers too, if you can, but 4.3, is that legit? Like you're going to run into 4.3s, you think?
Legit. I ran in my senior year of high school. I ran a 10.41 in the 100. I had the number one time in the state. The state meet, I didn't win the state track meet because it rained. So there was 2 different heats. I got second. A guy he ran like a 10. It was a slow time. It was like 10.7. I ran a 10.8. And it was bad. In the 200, I ran a 21.64, 21.61, something like that. Yeah. So
yes, the numbers are legit then. They check out 10.4. I mean, I was at the state track meet for here in New Jersey when John Taylor ran like a 10.44 and he ran in the 4.3s as well. So that does definitely check out for the nerds out there that like some track times as well, because I know I really do. And I'm kind of curious now, JD, because I've seen your running style. You kind of have that low center of gravity, great contact balance feel to your game. I think you're a guy that manipulates space really well. Second level defenders, you make guys miss on the second level a ton. Who are some guys from an NFL perspective? It could be past, present, growing up, whatever, that maybe you model your game after a little bit.
The guy down in New Orleans, the best running back in the NFL.
Oh, Alvin Kamara. You got it?
My guy.
Love it.
You can't say anything bad about him to me. If you say anything bad about Alvin Kamara, I'll never talk to you again. Him and Stephon Diggs are my guys, man. I wake up and watch them. I probably watch Alvin Kamara and Stephon Diggs highlights 2 to 3 times a week.
Love it. I love it, man. And
watch Travis Etienne a lot. I like Travis Etienne. I like watching him run. You know, it's good. It's good to watch other guys and take stuff from their game. I think that's how you become a better football player. You like, you know, this is what he does in these situations, and that's what I like. You know, I like how Alvin makes guys miss, and he's able to keep his balance. Balance is something I've worked on a lot lately with my trainer. I'm trying to get better at that.
I love it, man. I love it. And you won't hear anything negative coming out of my mouth about Alvin Kamara. This dude is, I mean, all around running back. I mean, him and Christian McCaffrey, those are the 2 best in the business, in my opinion. So nothing negative there. Curious about this one, though, because you mentioned it already a little bit. You said you want to kind of just showcase your abilities as a return man, which I think for you is huge, you know, especially if you're a later round guy potentially, or maybe a UDFA, whatever it ends up being. The ability to return kicks is vital to stick it on a roster. So outside of, you mentioned route running as well in the pass game and pass game in general, what are some other things for you looking at your final season are things that you need to, that you want to improve on that'll take JD Woods not only from, you know, the best back and NAIA, but considered one of the best backs in the country in general?
You know, I think pass blocking is the number one thing for me. Mm-hmm. You know, a team doesn't want a running back. It doesn't matter how small you are that can't pass block. Tariq Cohen pass blocks. You know, I'm right down the road. I'm 45 minutes from the Chiefs, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire pass blocks, you know, and I think that's something that I'm really going to have to improve and show that I can do on a consistent basis. And then I think next is returning. That's the number one thing I've worked on this summer. My trainer actually texted me, today's Friday. He texted me Wednesday and said, hey, man, we're going to have to start returning after every workout. It doesn't matter how tired you are. So those 2 things are huge for me. And just understanding blitzes, you know, understanding defenses and what's going on up front. And my coach has helped me out a lot with that. So if I can put those 3 things into my game, I think it'll be pretty good for me.
And I know obviously you're going to add to those career totals that I already talked about, over 5,200 yards, 77 touchdowns. Is there, like, for you, a favorite moment of your career? Maybe a game that stands out, a play that stands out, like whatever it might be?
You know, it's hard because we win. We win, man. I like winning. I like winning. Like games, football isn't fun if you don't win. Okay. And a lot of people like the stats. Obviously, the stats are there. And I wouldn't have that, you know, if I didn't have my offensive line, my quarterback getting me in the right checks, and my receivers blocking, those stats wouldn't be there. So a lot of people go out there for the stats. I go out there to win, and I like winning. Like I can play you in chess, and if I lose, I probably won't talk to you. And that's what it's about for me. As far as the favorite game or moment, in 2018, we played in Bethel, Tennessee. Mm-hmm. We scored touchdowns back to back to back for the whole second half, and my heart would not stop beating so fast. We went into overtime and we kicked the field goals like 45, 47 yards. We won it, and they were the number 2 team in the country that year. We shocked them. That was probably the happiest I've been in a football game in a very long time in college. And it was one of the best feelings. You just had to be there. The stadium was rocking, man. It was so cool to be there, be in that atmosphere.
I love it, man. I love it. And kind of the last question I had for you, JD, was, obviously I'm a guy that's very interested in your projection to the next level from the NFL draft side of everything. 1, how long has that been a dream for you? And 2, knowing that, just a year from now, that could be a reality where you are a professional football player. What type of blessing would that be for you?
I can't even put it into words, like I said, I wanted to play basketball. Like Russell Westbrook's my favorite player. I thought I was Russell Westbrook, thought I was John Wall. And then once I got to Missouri Western, and I realized there was one play. I realized the guy, Jonathan Owens, he plays for the Texans. I ran a jet sweep and I outran him, and he's a very fast guy. I made a move, outran him, and I cut up. And everyone on the field started like making noises and cheering. And I was like, okay, I'm pretty good at this. And from that moment, I was like, okay, I want to play in the NFL. Just making it, anyone that gives me an opportunity, I'm going to make the most of it. Football is a job. You have to show up every day and work. People wake up at 5, 6 in the morning and go work a 9 to 5 or an 8 to 4, 8 to 5 and give it their best, to make money and put food on the table for their family. So if I'm able to provide for my mom, sister, and 2 brothers and my nephew, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wake up every day and give it my all. Because if I don't do that, then I'm going to be back, here working a 9 to 5. And I don't want to do that. I want to do something that I love doing.
I love it, man. I love it. So again, if you have not checked out JD Woods, star running back from Baker University, I would suggest all listeners out there, you should go check him out now. All-American, 77 career touchdowns. I mean, he might have 100 touchdowns in his career, which is an outstanding number. JD, I appreciate it again, man. This was fantastic. Getting to know you a little bit, man. I really appreciate you taking some time today with me.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.